Welcome back to the Mail-In Podcast. I'm your host, Dillon Shivery, coming to you live from the Lodge in Austin, Texas. Sally is out this week. Filling in for her is Brett Scaryman.
What's
up,
Brett? What's up? Hey, guys.
How we doing, fam?
I'm great. Good to be here. The marine layer appears to have burned off. Might get a range sesh. Range sesh. Talking golf. Yeah, I might do that later.
How do you feel about the Christmas pick we just took as a company?
I haven't seen it yet.
How do you feel how it went, though? Like, you're on the other side of the camera, obviously, but...
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah?
I wish it was Christmas here. Like, I wish we went to Hobby Lobby and just posted up.
Okay.
Took a pic. But that's okay. It'll work. There were skis in it.
We did it in the Lodge, though. I mean, there's something to be said for that.
Yeah, it was in the Lodge.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun when, spoiler alert, when people get their merchandise and might have a little surprise in there.
How about that? We have Sally's husband here on the boards, working the ones and twos. What's up, Will? How
It's
we
your
doing?
boy, Mr. Perfect Game. He's back.
Dude, stop saying that,
He's
man.
back.
You put too much pressure on yourself.
Yeah, last time I said I was going to do a perfect game, I actually didn't record Dillon's audio, so maybe I should take a step back.
I feel like something you should do each time.
Normally, it's better if the host has their mic on.
Yeah.
Normally,
Yeah.
yes.
We figured that part out.
I will say, you guys are way more into teasing stuff than I am. You guys love teasing when it comes to like new merch and things like that.
That's an important part of foreplay, Will.
No, I see. I'm the kind of guy that's just like, bam.
Oh shit!
There you
But
go.
then what if they miss it? What if they miss it?
Well, they shouldn't miss it. They should be in tune with Wash Media at all times.
Brett is a big fat tease.
But you're
man.
a big fat teaser too.
Am I?
Yeah, you like teasing.
I think I just piggyback on his tease.
You were like teasing, like circling back before we even had a media company.
Yeah, I couldn't
like,
keep
dude,
it
Dillon,
in.
stop.
I legit couldn't keep it in. I mean, I did, but it was really hard. I wanted to just like, got a pod coming, but couldn't do it. People were figuring it out though. It was a fun time
They know
in our lives.
They can't.
That was
No one can
exciting.
keep us out the stew for that long.
Yeah.
Stu was just calling our name, man.
That was exciting.
Begging for us.
Yeah.
Well, it's good to be here. Brett reminded me that I've only been on one episode with you before.
Yeah, we're gonna have a great time.
Yeah, this is a crew that doesn't often sit in for the mail-in. I'm excited.
It's wild, man.
Yeah.
How about that?
I might crack a beer. What do you guys think?
I bet you won't.
Should I do it?
I bet you won't.
I might do it.
No, you won't do it.
I'm gonna do it.
I mean,
Dude, do it.
There's a
I'm
beer
gonna do it.
not
I'm gonna do it.
there's a beer not 10 feet from you right now.
Oh, no one is doing mid-podcast beers.
Nah, you don't see that anywhere.
Dude, it's not. What time is it? It's 11:53 in the morning.
This guy's got a
And
problem.
Brett's
I
about to
think.
go off. What's he gonna choose? He's gonna choose something.
I
light.
haven't really looked sorted through those beers in there.
We have several beers that were sent to us by a listener,
George, maybe?
George, and we really appreciate this shipment. If anything, the only complaint about this shipment is that we don't have enough fridge space.
You guys want beers?
No, I don't want a beer.
I'm straight.
No, I don't want a beer, man.
I just want to watch you.
Yep. So, Brett, what beer did you go with?
Wow, folks.
I had major fears that when you did that, you were going to spray a beer all over the microphone, and we're going to have to
see.
order a new mic cover, but we're good.
It is a Wicked Sunset New England Blonde Ale.
Ooh.
I like a blonde ale.
Brett's told me in the past that he's run through some New England blonde ales. Ales.
Females.
There you go. There you go.
That's not true.
Okay.
He's more of a brunette guy.
I am.
Yeah.
He's more of a
Look
brunette.
at that. Wicked Sunset. Shouts to Bonehook Brewery in Naples, Florida.
Traditionally, I've been a brunette guy myself. Been on kind of a blonde kick, though.
I don't have a huge preference, but my one outlier that makes me different from other people is that I'm a big redhead guy. So.
Yeah. I got love for redheads.
I love 'em.
I've never dated one, though.
Sally was my first ever that I dated.
Really?
I married her. I was like, you know what? You're not getting away.
Oh, how cute.
No, it was actually kind of, I kind of forced her into marriage. So.
Right.
Oh.
Okay. Real quick, folks, little programming note for all the kids at home. No episode next week.
On the account that is Thanksgiving.
It is Thanksgiving.
Yeah, it's a national holiday.
Yeah, we are just going to take the week off. We're not going to pre-record it and rush. I don't like to rush these things because the questions come in organically. I don't want to – there's a process to it.
Also, spend some time with your family.
And if I had to rush it and if the questions wouldn't be as good, I wouldn't feel great about what we were putting out there. And so we're just going to call it off. So, yeah, we're going to spend time with our families. You do the same, of course, safely, practice distancing, all that stuff.
We'll be around. I mean, we'll be on the gram probably.
Yeah.
On Twitter if you really need something.
No mail-in next week, though.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. All right. Now that that's out of the way, the hotline number is 888-362-MAIL. That's MAIL. 888-362-6245. You can also write in at the link in the Twitter bio at Mailin Podcast. All topics are on the table. If it's engaging enough, relatable enough, funny enough, we will talk about it. That's a promise. We have, 6 questions today. I think probably a bonus questions in the works, too. I'm not quite sure, but probably.
Yeah.
One voicemail today. Will, if you're ready to jump right in, let's go.
Hey, Mail-In Crew, I'm absolute shit at keeping in touch. I'm a perpetual delayed text message responder, and oftentimes my own mental health struggles don't allow me to have the emotional availability to check in frequently on my friends. I think about people often, but have a hard time with actually reaching out. I feel this has caused many people to move on from friendships with me, and is extremely apparent when I see major life announcements on social media, and am filled with guilt knowing that I had a better job, or if I had done a better job at staying in touch, I'd be sharing these moments personally with my friends instead of dropping a like or a comment. Would love to hear your takes on ways to stay in touch with your friends, or how to remedy friendships after falling out of touch. Any advice is much appreciated.
I think one reason why I included this because this is me. I don't. You too, Brett.
It's all of us. It's all
okay.
of us.
I don't necessarily have like mental health issues that are keeping me from reaching out to people. It's more that like I just get caught up in my own selfish life. I just think about myself and the company and parks, and I live in my own little bubble too much at times. And I have this group of like my high school friends, like my best friends, a couple from college too are in the mix, but they are still very, very close. They all live like basically in the same neighborhood. They live in their own little bubble, and they're always hanging out, and they're always taking family pictures, and I feel like I'm missing out on so much of that. And it's, I'm obviously to blame for not reaching out to them and be like, hey, let's meet up let's go get some drinks or whatever. Let me come over for dinner. I'm to blame. They don't reach out that much either, just because that I'm not in that bubble. I live on the other part of town from them, and I just don't see them, And so I feel this question so much. I want to be better about it. I want to get more involved in like my best friends' lives, but I just have so much going on with this company and just dealing with my own shit that I just get caught up and don't think about it. So I feel you. I know he's asking us to like, how do you remedy the situation? I don't really know, other than just being like top of mind, that you need to like make yourself like, all right, set aside 10 minutes each week to make a phone call or to just fire off some texts or whatever it is. But I don't really know.
Mm-hmm. I'm the same way. I'll get a text and I'll be like, oh, I'll respond to that in a little bit. And if I forget and like 2 days pass, then I feel really bad. I'm like, I don't want to respond now because they'll be like, what the fuck? So then it just sits there and it goes unresponded to. And then I just feel anxiety and guilt about not responding. So I don't respond or don't reach out. And it's like a horrendous cycle. But you always feel better once you do.
Yeah.
So something I wish they had on an iPhone is the function to mark a text as unread again.
I've been calling for that for a minute now.
It would make my life so much easier because I always want to see what someone says the second they text me. But I always go in and read it, and if I don't respond immediately, I'm just like you, Brett. I forget for a couple of days, and then when I see it, I'm like, damn it. Like my friend thought of me and reached out to me, and then I didn't respond back.
That's an email feature I use all the time.
Yes, I do. I use it for like if I don't immediately email back, I mark it as unread again.
Yeah.
And I will have unread messages from like a week ago that I definitely need to respond to, but it's always top of mind when I see the number on my inbox that, hey, do this.
Yeah.
I'm bad in the sense that I don't reach out to certain people that are really close to me because we just don't talk a lot anyway. Once I moved down to Texas, I stopped talking to a lot of people, and it's really unfortunate. The one thing that I do that I think works really well is that I have several group texts that I have that might just be 3 of us in it. But those group texts are all a common bond that we have. So we have a soccer one that's 3 of us. And because it's just the 3 of us, I know that I can drop in there, and if there's a game on, you just say like, hey, anyone online? All of a sudden we start talking about the game, and then it stumbles into other stuff. And having that common thread has just made it so much easier to not have to worry like, oh, am I annoying them? Like, these 2 guys both have good jobs. They both work a lot. And it takes the pressure off me feeling like I'm like annoying them by just being like, hey, anyone watching this game? And if they are, it's like, great, let's catch up and have some fun.
Yeah, we have a similar situation. We have a couple of threads, like text threads we have going on. One of them is about fantasy football because we're all in the same league together. Other one is like we do these for every golf major. We do these snake drafts, and it usually just a lot of booty chatter going on, a lot of shit talking and just like mixing it up, and it's fun. So that keeps us going. Weirdly, I think because I'm divorced, I'm the only one out of my friends. They're all married. And they all have at least one kid. I think because I'm like the sole divorced guy in the group. Not that I'm like an outcast, but I think I'm just like less relatable to them. I think they think I'm like always like going out and like meeting people, which is totally untrue. I'm at home all the time, like doing nothing, pretty much 100% of the time. I think I'm just like an afterthought to them when it comes to like family get-togethers or like house little
couples dinners,
shit like that.
Because a lot of times, like I've been to a double date with like the Ruffs before. That wasn't meant to be like, hey, let's go on a double date, but Sally and Alyssa will coordinate it.
Oh yeah,
and they don't loop you in. And
yeah,
it's like,
that used to happen to me much more than it does now.
Yeah.
Like you guys would just go do stuff. Or like they went on that trip together to Florida, and I was like, and I wasn't included, and I don't take it personally because I totally get it, like I really do. I wasn't, my feelings weren't hurt about that, but I'm just like an afterthought to a lot of people because Dillon's 37 and not married, and it's just different.
Yeah, I can't identify with you on that one, but I do feel bad because I know I've done that.
Well, don't because I get it. I know. It's not anyone's obligation to include me in stuff. Of course, I would like to be included in stuff, but I'm not. No one's obligated. It's not like I'm keeping tabs on you. But it's just weird. It's just weird for me. Plus, of course, the Ruffs have a kid on the way. But up until I've been the only one with a kid.
Yeah,
so that's another thing too. It's like I wonder if Dillon even like is able to do anything because he's got parks or whatever.
Yeah,
so
some nights like if you have parks and I'm going to a bar or something, I'm like, well, I'm not going to text Dillon because he's just going to say no, and I don't want him to feel bad.
Yeah.
But I'm also the type of person that I need the invite even if I can't go.
Yeah.
Because if I see people mobbing, I'm like, well, come on.
That's fair. I had a situation where my a previous employer, like the first 2 years I worked there, it was like 18-hour days, honestly, and it was. I got so lost in work that my family, my friends, my college roommates, my people from Saratoga, like I basically went MIA.
Yeah.
Because I was like in the like
just wrapped up
grind, like for lack of a better term, like grind boy mode.
Yeah.
Like I was just stuck like running around, and I had a blast, and it was worth it in the end. But it's like I feel weird now about like reaching out to somebody like my college roommates who are like my best friends, who I haven't talked to besides like texts here and there in like years now. And like that sucks. And I don't know, but I'm like this guy. I'm like it's on me. It's on me.
Well, when I moved down here, I didn't have like a friend group, so I didn't have anyone down here besides the people we worked with. I was very lucky that Grand X had like a tight knit group of friends that I could immediately enter, but I was so dedicated to making sure that I was doing a good job at work that I wasn't working like a crazy amount of hours, but I was definitely working hard. And it was more important to me to work hard in the beginning of being down here than it was to keep in touch with people. And I never imagined myself leaving my hometown, so I never imagined that I'd have to like keep in touch with people that I'd seen every day. But it definitely created a distance, and I have certain friends now who are like my absolute best friends, and I've just grown apart, and it's really sad. But, if there are people out there that I want to maintain that with, then I always just try to make sure that if there's something, if I think of them when I'm seeing something on TV or something, I just try to make a note to send them a text and say, hope you're doing well.
Try this to answer this guy's question. Try this, like set a reminder for like once a week and pick a time that you're not going to be busy. 6:30 on a Wednesday night or something like that before dinner, but like after you're like home and whatever, and just set aside 10 minutes a week. Just like either make a phone call or just like fire off a couple texts just to check in and say, hey, what's up? What's new in your world? Stuff like that. I think that could work. Just to like get in the habit of like the routine of like, keeping in touch with people.
I think I'm going to do that too.
I think I probably should too.
Yeah. I mean, it's weird, like, because I don't really have a friend group down here outside of you guys. And I don't think there was a possibility for me to have that because of COVID. But yeah, I mean, it's just one of those things you gotta do.
Yeah.
Also, you'll feel better once you do it.
Oh, 100%. Also, check in with your parents and your grandparents too. They need to hear from you.
Yeah,
it makes their day.
When I moved down here, I made sure to call my parents every Monday after work. I would call my parents and give them a rundown of my weekend, let them know how work's going, stuff like that. And then it got to the point where if I didn't call on a Monday, they were like, "Is everything okay? You didn't call yesterday." And I was like, "Oh, sorry, completely spaced out." But now in COVID, like I'm pretty much reaching out to some people way more than I ever did, and it's because I crave that friendship outside of our friend group here, which like I'm kind of the same. Like I have 2 friend groups in Austin, and my friend groups are you guys and Sally's friends. And even though Sally's friends, I think, accept me as like they don't think of me as Sally's husband. They think of me as Will now. I still kind of have it in my head sometimes that like, oh, it's like Sally's friends. They're not really my friends yet, but it's just a hard thing to navigate.
Yeah.
You know, it's not hard to navigate.
You talking movement?
Having a dope timepiece on your watch or on your wrist.
You just looked at your bare wrist.
I know.
You didn't wear
I
yours
wish I had a
today.
movement on. Well, I mean, to be honest, like you guys have these dope movement watches, and I'm sitting here because I only produce like once or twice a month, so like I didn't get the kickback. But we all know 2020 isn't playing by any of the usual rules. Usually I like rule breakers, not this time. And that goes for holiday shopping as well. Between shipping delays and the mess and stress of in-store shopping experiences, there aren't great options, but our friends over at Movement Watches have made gifting easy. Movement makes clean, modern watches, blue light glasses, and accessories. Getting great quality and style doesn't have to break the bank. Their Black Friday sale is live right now, so you can get ahead of your holiday shopping with their biggest sale of all time. You know what words I really love in the world? Biggest sale of all time.
Yeah. You know they're slashing prices.
Just slashing them. Their watches, they feel like it's a $400 to $500 watch on your wrist, but it's a fraction of the price. They're durable, great quality, and they're designed in-house at their Los Angeles headquarters. You know a watch is nice if it's coming from LA. LA. They also have blue light glasses. Randy has a pair, and one day I walked into the studio, and I was like, man, Randy's looking good right now.
He took those from me, actually.
He looks great in them. The Movement Everscroll blue light filtering glasses are a personal favorite, with lenses that protect your eyes from long hours in front of your screens. They come in a ton of different fashion-forward styles to choose from. Like, these things just look great.
No, they're great because they're just like, they look like regular glasses.
Yes.
They don't have the tint to them. They're just clear lenses, and they're just tight.
They help with better sleep, better focus, and better style. But like we said, Movement has this super sleek matte black packaging. Just add a bow and you're good to go for Christmas. It's real easy. Their products are one size fits all, and their gift guide helps you find the gifts that fits their style. Their shipping is fast, and they offer free returns all the way into next year. So, not that you'll need it, but like that's a nice little perk. Check out Movement's biggest sale of the year with fast, free shipping and free returns by going to mvmt.com/mail-in. Again, that's mvmt.com/mail-in.
Thank you, Will.
You want this next one?
Let's go.
Mail-in crew. I've been seeing this girl for a while now, and I really like her. Given COVID, we usually do dinners at home. I'm always really excited, shower, and I put on some nice clothes and shave, but without fail, I show up and she's wearing yoga pants and a tank. I'm all for a casual fit, and she'll have just woken up from a nap or come in from gardening or getting sweaty or just returned from a friend's place. Despite what might otherwise be a hint, she'll always initiate intimacy. Am I right to be a little down on this? We have this planned for days. It's always in the evening, and while I genuinely put an effort to look my best, she just rolls out of bed. Is it wrong for me to want someone who's expecting us to hook up to put in some effort into looking good for me too? I'm always a little inwardly let down when I show up. How can I broach this without sounding entitled or like I don't find her attractive like that?
Ooh, keep something in mind here. Obviously, we are in a very weird time. We're in a pandemic. COVID is out there. It's very real. All these are at home. She gets a pass, in my opinion. You can't step out. You're not going to fancy restaurants. You're not going to bars. You're not doing that kind of stuff. It's at home. To me, like if I were to invite someone I was dating over to my house, I can't imagine I would get dressed up for it. I would look presentable. I would but I would probably throw on like some Lulu pants and a T-shirt or something. Like honestly, I don't.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I get where this guy's coming from, kind of though.
Okay.
Like if you're going over somewhere, or like in my case, if I'm driving a couple hours to see a SZN, I'm showering. I'm putting on a work outfit like this, and to her credit,
to be the one,
but like
to be the one going over there, as opposed to you being at the home base and them coming to you.
Yeah.
It may be a little bit different though.
Yeah.
Because you're at your house, you know.
That's.
But I mean, I'll hear you out.
Yeah, I think if you're the traveler in the scenario, I think you always kind of get a little like you put a fit on, not
Yeah.
like a fit, but like.
But if I know I'm just gonna stay at her place, we're gonna have dinner there, maybe
Yeah.
watch a movie. I'm not gonna throw on the nice shit.
That's fair.
You know.
That's totally fair. I guess I don't think I would expect her to throw on something like either. I think yoga.
Now, if she just came from like hot yoga or gardening and she's sweaty and like not even gonna clean herself up, that's different.
Mm-hmm.
But if she's she's in a ponytail and yoga pants, like Also, let me add this.
That looks the best.
Let me add this. When a girl is able to look really good without trying, like just in a ponytail and sweats, to me that's like the hottest trait ever.
Absolutely.
I agree.
I'm very down with
Absolutely love that.
When it comes to the intimacy part, I feel like he kind of indicated that he might just like a little cleanliness.
He did mention the sweaty thing.
So for me, I actually identify with that part the most. And it's not because I have like preconceived notions about the person I'd be getting intimate with. It's because I don't like being intimate with somebody if I am dirty.
Mm-hmm.
So I have never liked kissing a girl or doing anything with a girl if I feel like I am dirty. And it's something that's always kind of annoyed me about myself. It's like it's taken me out of a situation where I would very much like to get intimate with somebody, but it kind of just takes my brain out of it. And I'm like,
Really?
oh my God, I'm
Damn.
so gross right now. Like I haven't showered since like this morning. Like I like to be very clean all over at all times. And I think most guys shower the first thing when they wake up in the morning, correct?
Yeah, that's what I do.
Not me. I usually shower once and it's at night.
So you
Whoa.
haven't showered today.
No.
I think you're an outlier when it comes to guys.
Whoa.
I used to be a morning shower guy.
How do you like make sure your hair
Really?
doesn't stick out and stuff?
Oh, I usually wet the hair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because for me, I have to shower in order to get my day started. And if I haven't done that,
That's
I
what I
can't
do.
really do anything else and feel good about it. I always feel a little grimy.
Yeah.
And I've gone as far as telling significant others, Stigods, I've gone as far as telling them that not only like would I prefer that I'm clean, but I've actually told them like I would just be much more into it if
Wow.
like that. It's not like
Really?
I would tell them that like early on in the game. It was like months down
Yeah.
the road.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I would prefer if like we were both relatively clean.
Yeah. If I have something like to do, I will shower before. I don't want people to think I'm just out there just smelling and stuff.
Well,
you
dude,
know?
the
Like,
fact that
I'm
we
not a
didn't
dirty
know that
guy.
you don't shower like every day in the morning
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
you come
that's
in
a-
here, I have never noticed anything
Yeah.
about you that's like.
I
smelling
showered at
weird.
like probably 8 o'clock last night.
Weird.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sally always asks me because
Huh.
if I do a late Peloton ride or something, or if I sometimes I just shower like if I get home from the airport, I'll shower then,
Mm-hmm.
and then I'll shower the very next morning.
Yeah.
She's always like, "Why are you showering again? You showered last night."
Yeah.
And I
See,
think that's valid, but
yeah,
girls,
it is.
girls don't shower when they wake up every morning.
and I usually work out in the afternoon, so that's kind of why I time it the way I do. I'm not if I shower in the morning, I know that there's another shower in my future.
Yeah.
I'm going to work out later in the day, so I just save it until after that. Do it, knock it all out then.
That's wild. I was a double shower boy for a long time because I would shower, didn't want to work out in the morning, but would work out in the afternoon and shower after that too.
Yeah.
That's what I do now.
Double showers.
Team 2 showers.
Yeah. Plus, I'm kind of an oily guy, so I like to get into bed clean
Right.
as opposed
fair.
to full days of
That's why I like being Team 2 showers. I like being clean in the
Yeah.
morning, and I like getting into bed clean.
I've been a 2-shower guy at parts of my life, but not anymore.
I think when it comes to the clothing part of this, I don't think that's a big deal, and he might be overthinking it, and I think maybe he should start dressing down.
Yeah.
But if the cleanliness part is an issue, I don't know how to. I've never broached that subject in a very good way, so I don't have advice on that. But I understand where you're coming from, and I do think that it might be something worth noting down the line. Like, hey, I might be way more into this if I don't know.
Plus,
but you can't tell someone they smell.
His first sentence is, "I've been seeing this girl for a while now."
Mm-hmm.
If this was fresh, if this was the first 5 times they've hung out, and she's already doing the yoga pants and a ponytail, it's like you're not even trying to impress me situation.
Mm-hmm.
But they've been seeing each other for a while now, so she's comfortable with this dude. She's like, "Yeah,
It's
come
kind of
over."
crazy if you think about someone who might have met somebody in like March. Like, they've been dating in COVID for
Yeah.
so
A
long.
lot of people are. That's all they know. A lot of
crazy.
couples. Yeah, it's weird.
So
Okay,
you don't,
Dave.
you don't. What about morning stuff?
I have to shower.
Really?
Really?
Mostly, unless it
Wow.
just is inevitable. But
Huh.
let me say this: I won't stop it if it happens,
Okay.
but I will
You're in your head.
if it hasn't happened yet, and I know that there's a possibility. Sometimes I'll just go shower and like hang out and put on a pair of boxers and just hang out, and if it happens, it happens. But I would prefer to be showered. One
thing you got to do is hit some mouthwash or something.
Hit the teeth.
Yeah, you got to do the teeth.
That's the biggest thing. When it comes to morning stuff, you got to brush the teeth.
Got to.
Both parties.
Both parties.
In movies, when a couple wakes up in bed together, like they had sex the night before, and they wake up and they just start making out, it's like, it's disgusting. Like no one's ever gonna do that. Your breath is stank.
Sally will just call me out. We're married and have been together for a long time, so morning stuff's off the table. But like she'll just tell me like, go brush your teeth. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Good question.
Ready for the next one?
Let's do the next one. Voicemail.
Oh, I skipped the voicey. I'm sorry. Here we go. Oh, perfect game out the window. Here we go.
She's coming.
Hey, Mail and Crew. This is Blake from Atlanta. I have a question about holiday tipping and gift giving. I have an awesome concierge at my apartment building. I see the guy like every day. He's always helping me out. We'll even set packages aside when he leaves. Sees me leave the house for a run, so they're there to bring upstairs when I come home. How much should I be giving him? I want to be generous. He's always helping me out. And also for a hairstylist who cuts my hair fairly regularly, how much should I be giving them? Love the pod. Look forward to listening. Okay, bye.
This feels old school to me to like want to gift your doorman like a holiday something. You know what I mean?
I think it is old school.
It is, and I think it's great. I appreciate this. Brett?
I'll just go with my answer. So the only situation I had was in New York. I had a laundromat, a laundry person like across the street from me, and so it would like a wash and fold laundry situation because we didn't have washing machines in New York. So I gave him a card with a $50 bill in it for Christmas.
Yeah.
Just like one day I was doing my laundry, I said, "Hey, Merry Christmas," and he was very, very appreciative. So that was 50, and I think that was solid, fair.
Are we to assume that he tips these people regularly anyway?
I would not say your doorman at the place where you live. No.
Right, yeah.
But
doorman
obviously your hairstylist, yes.
Yes, because I give a pretty good tip every time I get my hair.
I guess a doorman isn't someone you just like, pass a 5 to every time you see him. That's just overkill.
That's reckless.
It's overkill.
Yeah. It's financially reckless.
But your hairstylist, yes. So it's kind of different. Your doorman, yeah, absolutely, give him a gift. Like that's awesome. He obviously he's gonna appreciate money. I mean, he's working. That's his job, so he's gonna appreciate money. But you can also give him something else too. But I would $100. It's kind of pricey, maybe.
I think it's fair though.
But it's someone you see every day like that, and you build a rapport with over the year, and he treats you well, and $100.
Yeah.
$100.
I don't hate it. It sounds like this guy's a real good guy too. Like the doorman sounds great.
If you're living, in New York, how many apartments have doormen?
Oh, probably 50%. I don't know, roughly.
That answers my question because if he lives in a place that has a doorman, he can probably afford $100.
Yeah. I would assume
that break off a bill for him.
That's a good way to put it.
You know what I mean?
I was a walk-up boy, 5 floors.
If you're doing like. Yeah, and if you live in a nice place like in New York City, $100 is probably in your budget to tip the doorman.
Yeah.
My dad, when I was younger, and I didn't know he did this at all, but he would go to the same diner every day for lunch, pretty much. Maybe not every day, but a lot of days. And I didn't know this until after he stopped going there, and I started going there a lot. And it was right across the street from where I worked, and so I started going there a lot for lunch. And one day, the woman that worked there, she told me, she was like, so, your dad, and she didn't tell me this to like make me feel guilty or anything, but she was like, your dad used to come in and every single day he would order food. And I don't know if he gave a tip or not, but she was like, I loved it because at the end of the year, he would always give me a massive tip.
Yeah.
And
that's fun.
So not only like was he a great customer, but like he put the cherry on top at the end of the year. And maybe at first she might not have liked it because like she thought he was just like screwing her all throughout the year of not giving her like great tips. But he tipped her out real well at the end of the year per her. Like my dad's, I've never even talked about this with my dad. She told me this.
Yeah.
And at that point I was like, man, that is a nice gesture for somebody that does something for you day in, day out. I don't have anything in my life like that outside of Teresa.
Yeah, that's the only person in my life, 2, that fits this category.
I will probably see Teresa before Christmas twice, and I think the next time I'll tip her normally. But now that I think about it, I think I might. She hooks me up with a lot of perks.
Yeah.
She buys my hair product for me at discount, and charges me cost for it.
Oh, nice.
And I only need to get it from her like once every 8 months or so. But like that in itself is worthy of me tipping her out at least the amount that makes up for what I'm saving.
Yeah. Anyone in the service industry who you use repeatedly probably deserves a little extra love around the holidays.
Oh, bartender, if you're on a first name basis.
Yeah.
Which
it also probably means you spend too much time at a bar, but yeah. Just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, like,
no, you're right. Anyone in that industry,
yeah,
in the service industry,
especially now. But if you have a bartender, you go to like a regular at who you're on a first name basis with, for when the Oak closed.
Yeah.
R.I.P. I tipped my bartender out, who I knew really well, and was probably the biggest tip I've left. So I was like, thank you for everything. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I don't have anybody currently besides her.
You've never had a bartender?
No, I've had a bartender, but not in Austin. In Austin, I don't have a regular
that's
bartender.
too bad.
I don't have a bar that I go to like all the time.
Also, keep in mind that a lot of these people right now, considering the pandemic, if you rely on tips for your income, they've been hurting a little bit.
If you have the capacity this year might be the year to actually think about it and see if you can afford it and actually try to make it happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
You have a bartender or a bar?
No.
Really?
Never had like a go-to spot that I like know
shit.
people. Yeah.
The closest thing I have is Pine House, and there's a guy that works the register there. If there's two, you know how when you walk up in the line, you can kind of go to two different places.
Sure.
I always wait to make sure that I can go to that guy because he really likes me. One time I came in, forgot my wallet, and he was like, "Dude, you're in here numerous times a week. Don't worry about it this time." And I was like, "That's so
awesome.
Nice."
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And I gave him a big tip the next time, but I'm kind of he would be the one person that I'm in outside of Teresa who I would be like, all right, he deserves it. He deserves this.
I will say, man, Austin.
I've become a pretty good tipper. Not to brag, but I like to take care of my people.
I didn't know that I was a bad tipper at our hairdresser until we had a discussion one day with numerous people who went there, and I was like, man, I think I'm the worst tipper out of everybody, and I was given 20%.
Yeah.
So now I do closer to 34 because I'm like, well, shit, I can't be the broke boy out of my friends. She knows that we're all crew members.
You roll together, yeah.
I don't want someone to throw me under the bus.
I got a different girl. I'm sorry, guys. Sorry,
okay.
Teresa.
You're good.
Justin Barrett and Sherry.
I was gonna say your girl's name's Barrett.
Nope, she is Barrett's hairdresser.
Oh, makes sense.
Then you know she knows what she's doing.
She knows what she's doing.
That man takes his hair very seriously.
As do I.
I know that.
Prevent defense.
That's right.
You have to.
Let's do the next one.
Hello, everyone. My state just closed gyms again. That was probably the only part of my week that I looked forward to. I live in Minnesota, so running outside is not an option for me anymore. I did at-home workouts last time they closed, but I lost a lot of size. I don't know how to stay optimistic that my life will ever be normal/fun again.
This question is worded like there's no end in sight for this pandemic.
True.
Just hold out a little longer. I mean, we have vaccines that are like in the works now. Things I feel like are going to be normal before you think they are.
I will go as far as to say is like next summer kind of sounds like it's going to be a normal summer.
I think you're probably right.
Vaccines will start.
And I say that as someone who knows nothing about the vaccine delivery process or what it takes to like mass produce it. I don't know anything about that.
Yeah.
But summer feels like a safe bet.
It will be. I mean, knock on wood, everybody is fervently getting them, right? There's people that are not going to, and that's concerning. But
you don't want to get microchipped?
I'm fine with, dude. I
Chip me up.
I've said since day one. Even
chip.
Dave was in here one time. He's like, dude, what? I was like, I'll share my data. I'll share my address.
Oh,
like,
yeah. I don't care about any of that stuff.
Make as much
I'm not
money.
a very
I do.
exciting person.
I do.
You
Do you?
I don't like sharing data.
Oh, I
Doesn't
give them all
bother
of
me.
it.
Nope, I don't like it.
How can it be used against me?
I don't know. I just don't like the idea of it. I don't like the concept of it. It's not necessarily my data. I don't like the concept of people having other people's data. I mean, don't get me wrong. My data's everywhere.
Yeah.
I'm not so strict that I have like hacks and shit like that, but sometimes it says like, would you like to share your data? No.
Okay.
If Wash Media turns into a media empire, which hopefully it does, then I will be more concerned about people having all of our information. But until that point, not that we're on a good streak, but yeah, I'm. You can have it.
So how can this guy, during the rest of this situation,
Yes.
what can he do to stay optimistic and keep Keep things moving.
One, don't doom scroll Twitter. I've gotten in a very bad habit of that. Get off Twitter.
Define doom scroll. Looking for bad information.
Like following every COVID account you can, following politicians, following journalists. It's good.
That's a good point.
Yeah,
there's a lot of bad out there, and there's an endless amount of negative information you can take in right
now, and negative information and negative, journalism spreads faster than positive and that kind of thing. So that's known, but you get a really a rut if you just read thing after thing after thing. You should be cognizant of it. You should know what's going on. You should be informed, but doing it if your screen time's 10 hours and half of that is Twitter, it's like, dude, just get off Twitter for a minute.
All right, so he's stuck at home.
Stuck at home. Do the workouts still.
Too cold to even go outside.
Yeah.
So how does he spend his time?
Swing journey. I don't know. It's like we're in unprecedented territory. I don't know what we do. And winter obviously wasn't a thing.
Yeah, keep in mind that we're all in this together.
Yeah.
And it sounds like he didn't mention anything about being unemployed. It sounds like he's still employed. Some people aren't because of this. You could have it worse.
Right.
You know?
And this guy seems like he's concerned about his physique.
He is.
And so, losing size, that sucks. And there's no good way to have a full gym in your residence unless you're loaded.
Mm-hmm.
This might not be a great option, but I don't know if you could just get I'm not going to say go out and buy a Peloton, but if you can go out and buy an exercise bike or something that you might be able to get your cardio up, that is something that I really wanted to do early in the pandemic because I thought to myself, well, this affects your lungs and respiratory system. Getting my cardiovascular health up is probably the best thing I could do right now for my physical health.
That's how I originally decided when I started to get back in shape. This was 2009-ish maybe. No. Yeah, 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. When I decided to get back in shape, I bought a $200 Schwinn stationary bike.
Mm-hmm.
And I just put it in the guest room in my house. And I would turn on the TV and I would just pedal.
Yeah.
And it was great for, obviously, I started to lose weight. I didn't get shredded, obviously, because I was just doing cardio.
Mm-hmm.
But I started to shed weight, felt better, got energetic, and the endorphins. I mean, it really is meant for your mental health. Exercising, you get just as much benefit as that as you do physical health. Absolutely.
I do a lot of jokes about the Peloton, and I talk about it a lot. It really did save me throughout the pandemic. Throughout being locked down, without having those Peloton rides in the middle of the day to get my endorphins up and to just get a sweat going, feel accomplished about something.
Mm-hmm.
If I hadn't been doing that and I had just sat around and played video games, and don't get me wrong, I played a shit ton of video games to distract myself. But had I not had that physical activity, I don't know if I would have come out of it being happy. And luckily, I maintained a pretty good amount of happiness throughout the entire thing. There was the overwhelming dread of just the world ending, it felt like. But getting the cardio in and just getting a sweat going did help. And I know that I'm smaller, not bigger in terms of muscle. But I do think it helped.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. It is going to end, and everyone's going through the same thing. Your life is going to be normal and very fun at some point.
Yes.
And I think it's
going to happen
sooner than the doom scrollers think. I think once these vaccines are approved and kind of get kicking, next summer is going to be as normal as one would think. There's going to be changes, obviously.
We'll be mobbing again.
But do you know what's great about this guy too? He lives in Minnesota. That means he gets to get the workout of shoveling snow.
Dude. The coldest I've ever been in my life was when I went to the Super Bowl in Minneapolis. Oh my gosh, it was like nothing I had felt, and I've been skiing many times.
Dylan, I'm going to give you credit
because
I was boned.
Dude, on Super Bowl Sunday, the high was 0.
Yeah.
And it was a perfectly clear and sunny day. I was like, how is this even possible?
The wind chill I remember being -20 and making runs from Cowboy Jack's in downtown Minnesota, or Minneapolis, excuse me. to the car, like carrying stuff in for activating whatever brand we were activating.
Just to the bone, just
oh
chill.
Oh my God. Will, like, it was a cold Will could appreciate too.
Yeah.
Oh, I love a good cold.
Yeah.
No, but seriously, I love shoveling snow. It's a good workout.
I've never shoveled snow.
And it's very satisfying to shovel, and then once you're done, just turning around and seeing what you just did, it's just look how beautiful this is.
Similar to like a perfectly mowed lawn.
I wouldn't know what that feels like, but yeah. Never mowed a lawn, so. I've told this before.
Did I know this?
I've told this before.
We've talked about it.
You've never ripped a lawn?
No.
Rip? No one says rip.
Oh.
Dude, sometimes you gotta rip a lawn, dog.
Really? That's lame.
My dad's big into the garden. He when we were younger, he would either do all the gardening or he had a guy that he would have do stuff.
Okay.
It was never something that he like told me to do that I like put up a stink about. That being said, when I was younger, when he told me to shovel snow, I was a little wimp about it and hated it. But then once I got in my 20s, I was like, wait, I kind of like shoveling snow. Kind of enjoyable.
Damn. Okay.
If this guy can start working out again, he should definitely invest in some Features socks.
Well, if he wears Features to the gym, he won't be the only one in Features at the gym. I see him everywhere.
Yeah, it's because they're Torch.
They are.
These things are great.
They are.
Believe it or not, the holidays are almost here. It's been a strange few months, so why not give friends and family the gift that puts a jingle into their step? For 20 years, Features have been solely focused on delivering an unsurpassed sock performance. A great pair of socks can be the perfect holiday gift for everyone on your list, and with Features, every pair feels like a custom fit. I wear these things all the time. If I'm working out, I'm wearing them. When I went to Cabo, I packed exclusively Featured socks. Golf, like
big time golf socks.
Everything. Yeah, they're just great. They even have left and right on them, so I know which foot they go on.
Even if they were just heinous and just ugly as shit, I would still wear them because they're so dope. But they actually look really sharp too.
Yeah, they're great. They're absolutely wonderful. They got some new colors in that crew style we like, Dillon.
Are you shitting me?
I went on the site the other day because I was going to see what they had.
Let me peep.
And I was like, oh man, they got some new colorways. They're just great. These things are cushiony. They're just great. Runners around the world have loved Features for years, but they're not just for runners anymore. Features elite golf socks will give the golfer on your list what they really want: an edge on the links. They're meticulously engineered to keep feet cool, dry, and comfortable, drive after drive, with zone-specific compression, targeted support, no slipping or bunching.
Mm-hmm.
They even have a little tab on some of them, so like you just know it's not going to slip down. Oh, it's just great.
We yanked on it.
Mm-hmm.
Tons of styles to choose from. They got no-shows, knee-highs, ultralight, knit, maximum cushion, and designs tailored for everyday wear, athletic performance, and extra support, and a lifetime guarantee. A lifetime. Do you know how long a lifetime is?
Some people.
I'm not confident anything enough in my life to guarantee it for a life.
No.
For a
No.
feature
I don't know what's going on.
But they're standing by their product.
I think I nailed that.
You can get $10 off your first pair of Features just in time for the holidays. Use promo code RANDY at features.com for $10 off your first pair. That's FEETURES.com, promo code RANDY. One more time, FEETURES.com, promo code RANDY. Ready for the next one?
Let's do it.
Can I interject real quick?
Yeah.
I feel bad. Randy gets a lot of play on the promo codes. I have recently, in the new sponsors that are coming up, have switched to more Rosie and more Stella. And I want to apologize to you guys.
You don't have to apologize to me. Rosie has had she's had a very good, honestly.
You should apologize to Stella.
I know.
Stella
Deserves more, and
She's
I want
a good dog.
I want to
You
make
see
a
her.
point that Stella has been, any promo code that has been asked for on the Mail-In podcast has been Stella in the last couple of weeks.
Because she listens.
Well, she'll see. It's going to take a minute based on the sponsors that you book
All
now.
right,
You know, it's
all
a
right.
whole
Just
thing.
explain it to her when you see her.
I will. I'm sorry, Stella.
You ready for the next one?
Yeah,
Can
this,
you can see her right now if you want to, right?
Not anymore. I moved her crate back into my bedroom.
Oh,
Yeah. Because she's recovered from her.
ooh, I'm going to ask for a
surgery.
cam for Christmas.
can't
So
see.
I
cam?
can watch Rosie, not so I can like
Green
set it up
cams
in
are
my
cool,
bedroom
man.
or anything. Yeah. You guys ready for this next one? It's a little long.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Dill, Brett, and producer Will. I've been hooking up with an ex-coworker since February. He has a girlfriend of 2 to 3 years. We've had sex about 3 times, but meet up once or twice a month and almost always end up in a steamy makeout session / oral and sometimes sex. While I'm not trying to date him, we have so much in common. We message almost every day about films, music, food, etc. The chemistry is there, and we're just on the same wavelength. His words.
I thought it was cinema, but
After months of this, he told me last night that it's only lust. Am I trash for being completely okay with this? Info you might be wondering. He doesn't want to break up with his girlfriend because she has severe depression and doesn't want to worsen it. Yes, it's an excuse. She lives with him, but they sleep in separate beds. I'm 25 and he's 29. I've been single for 4 years. I'm focused on my career and myself. I paid off all my debt this year, bought myself a Benz, and moved into my own apartment.
Not sure why it's necessary to drop the Benz part of that.
Wow.
She's
This
stable.
is one of those questions where I don't really get like why. And I'm not trying to slam this person, but we are always honest. I don't get why this person sent this in. Like, you know what you're doing is wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like what you want is just to hear it from a neutral party, just to like reinforce what you already know.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the vibe I get from this. So, you know what you're doing is wrong, even though you don't really address it in your email. You know that this is shitty all the way around. He's cheating on his girlfriend with you. You're fully aware of it. And he says it's only lust, but you seem to be more into him than that. You're talking about how the chemistry is great and the conversation's great and all this stuff. I'm so confused by this. What do you want to hear?
She wants to hear that's okay.
Does she?
It has to be, right? I mean,
The only question she asks is, am I okay for being completely okay with this? What do you mean?
like, am I a bad person for being okay with it? It's like, you're not a good person.
No, you know what you're doing is not okay in any definition of what's going on.
Yeah.
It's not okay, and you know that. You want us to say it, so we are. It's not okay. It's not cool.
Yeah.
I don't condone this.
Absolutely not.
This is not just lust. If you text that much about
Right.
so many common interests and you keep in contact every day, it's not just lust. It's if you were getting like a nude pic, if you were sending him like a nude pic at 11:30 at night because you were in the mood, and then you guys don't talk until a week later at 11:30 at night, that might be lust.
And
this is not lust.
If it is just lust, then why are you telling us that he's staying in the relationship because she's depressed? And why are you telling us that they sleep in separate beds? Like, that shouldn't matter if it's just lust for you.
Yeah.
She
Right?
sounds like his emotional support, like, friend.
This guy's.
This is unhealthy all the way around.
Yeah.
Yeah, no matter how you chop it, this is unhealthy. I think that this guy knows that he doesn't want to be with his girlfriend. He's clearly not in love with her. If you sleep in different beds, old married couples do that when they just want to get better rest.
But does he want to be with this girl?
Doesn't sound like it. It sounds like he might.
He told her it was just lust, even though they're texting nonstop about music and whatever. They have common interests and good chemistry. This is weird.
Does the pandemic have anything to do with this? February they started hooking up. Excuse me. Is it just like, does that throw a different wrench in it?
I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
what this. I don't know what's about to come out of my mouth, but I don't know. I am so distraught by this question because, like, she says that she's completely okay with this, but she's asking for validation from other people. Like, if you're completely okay with it, then be completely okay with it. But, like, just know that other people are going to judge you if this becomes public information within your group of friends or with him or with his girlfriend. I don't know.
Also, what is the end game? Like, what she said, she's not trying to date him.
Yeah.
He says this is lust. He has a girlfriend. What is your end game? Is this like
To get laid.
Is it he's a toy?
I don't think that there's. I don't think there's an issue with having a strictly physical relationship
But if
with
you
somebody,
just wanna
but you
get-
can't do it with somebody that
Yeah.
has a girlfriend.
If
or
you
a
just want to
significant
get laid, look, there are a lot of guys out there who are willing to have sex with you. I promise you that.
Yeah,
why
you have a
pick one?
Benz.
Why pick one that has a girlfriend?
And no debt.
Yeah. Why? I paid off all my debt this year. Okay, cool. What does that have to do with the rest of
I
this?
think she's just trying to tell us that she's. I mean,
Yeah.
she seems to have her shit together everywhere except for the
She's the side piece.
the
And I hate-
romantic relationship.
Not to make it sound super casual, but you are the side piece here.
I have never had this happen to a close friend, but I do know of people in my general social circle, or one person who was dating somebody depressed, and they had a very hard time figuring out how to navigate that because they didn't want to be with them anymore, but they also didn't want to subject them to even more depression.
Yeah.
And this guy is probably grappling with that. And when you're in a pandemic and you can't I don't know, you want to go kick someone out and tell them to go move during a pandemic, that's pretty
Yeah.
depressing.
She asked if it's okay. Is it okay that she's okay with this? It's much deeper. It's not that simple. because the other girl's involved here.
Yes. There's someone else's emotional
Yeah.
well-being at stake, and you are
Who's
completely
already
jeopardizing that.
already battling, mental health problems. This whole thing stinks. I hate it. You're in a bad spot. I think you already know that. And you want us to say it for you, so we are. You need to separate yourself from the situation.
I think this guy's worse than her.
There's no way the sex is that good. You gotta just keep going. It's just not worth it. Nothing's worth it here.
She's in the wrong, but he's worse.
Oh, of
Yeah,
course.
This guy's a scumbag.
He's the one cheating.
This guy's a scumbag.
Oh, he's a
cheating.
scumbag.
Yeah.
Yes. Absolutely.
So, like, honestly,
But
for
she-
her, like, yes, you should. It's better that it's lust than it is love with them or with him, because it sounds like. I mean, if he's
it's-
doing this so aggressively, can you imagine trying to cheat during a pandemic? How do you get away with that?
It's not just lust, though. It's not.
It's not.
Even though they try to pretend that it is, it's not. Like you
We're-
said, you don't send text. You don't text someone all day if it's just lust.
Yeah. I think. Well, if you're this girl, do you say like break up with your girlfriend?
No, because I don't think she wants to.
I don't know if she
date
wants to
him.
be with the guy.
I think she
She's-
did say. I mean, this is all trash.
This is a very complicated question. I say it's complicated, but it's really not.
It's a
but there's
simple
just so
answer,
many
but-
levels to it that it's really easy to talk about the different levels.
Yeah. There
But
are
she-
levels to this shit.
Levels, dude. Avicii. Did
Also-
Avicii write this question?
Has she met Randy?
Ooh. Is she a Will movie?
This Randy?
That's the one.
I don't want Randy getting involved with this girl.
Yeah, this girl. She does have a Benz.
She had a Benz.
She has a Benz. And she's debt free. But y'all looking after Randy, man.
She's Randy's age.
Her priorities could
No, she-
use some fine tuning. I
Yeah,
think.
that's fair. Not
You
her
know?
car because she has a Benz.
Not her car. That Benz is probably running tip top.
Oh yeah.
I have a Benz.
Remember Tip Top, the boat show? Do you ever watch that?
No.
Oh, they just like redid boats.
Like Pimp My Ride for boats.
It wasn't Pimp My. No, it was just like a very stable. Like, no, we're gonna make a boat for you.
So they didn't put like random weird shit in
No,
there.
it was. Do you remember Versus
like a
channel?
cotton candy machine.
Yes.
Versus. It was on
I think
that
so.
channel.
It sounds familiar.
Yeah, it was on Versus like in the morning with the hunting shows. It would be like Tip Top boats.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Okay, sorry.
You guys want this final one?
Yeah. What a mess that situation is.
I know. I mean, I don't think we gave her the answer she wanted to hear, but I don't think we gave incorrect answers.
Low key, I think we did give her the answer she wanted to hear,
Maybe.
even though she didn't outwardly ask for that. I think she heard what she needed.
She sounds
to.
like a catch, and she could make a guy that doesn't have a depressed girlfriend very, very happy.
She
She's
didn't want to
also-
hear our answers, but she needed to hear.
She's
our
also
answers.
bored. She needs to go out to Cowboy Jacks or Tilted Kilt or something, and just like have a. She needs new blood. is
You
what I'm
need a
saying.
new guy to lust over.
Yes.
There's several guys you can lust over
Hop in
that
that
don't
Benz.
have baggage like this.
Hop in that Benz and go looking for a new guy.
She could literally
Jason
ruin someone's
Sudeikis.
life.
He's new
Yeah,
on the market.
he's fresh.
Yeah.
He just did that sneakers thing on Complex, sneaker shopping.
Oh, that poor girlfriend. Like, even though she deserves to know about this, the mental health thing, she could go off the deep end. This is
Kind of
scary.
just want them to have an amicable breakup, and she never
Yeah.
even finds out. Hopefully, she doesn't listen to this podcast.
That'd be ideal here.
Mhm.
All right, last one.
Hey, y'all. For COVID-related reasons, my boyfriend and I are spending Thanksgiving with each other and our dog and not seeing either of our families for the first time. First part is, what should we make to eat? We agreed to not do turkey, but are stuck between steak, pasta, or Thanksgiving sides. We're both comfortable in the kitchen, like cooking together. Part 2, if this was you, what would you do to make the day feel more like a holiday? Any thoughts or suggestions? Much appreciated.
Another question I feel is just like super relatable,
Mm-hmm.
given everything that's happening with the pandemic and it being the holidays. A lot of people staying home, not traveling. So yeah, how do they make it more holiday-y, and what do they cook? Do a steak. If you're deciding between these, go with the nice, prime ribeye or something.
I wonder why they're not going turkey. Too big? Too much meat?
There's a lot of meat with a turkey. Really, the smallest turkey you can get is what, like 6 pounds?
I
8
have no
pounds?
clue.
Yeah, that's a lot of meat.
I have friends that I have 2 friends, they're really good friends of mine, and their first Thanksgiving together, they spent it alone and they made a game hen.
Oh,
Which it seems like you could roast a chicken or something. Maybe you just don't like white meat though.
Yeah. Also, turkey is one of my least favorite parts of a Thanksgiving meal. I hate to say it,
no,
I
I love your take.
especially when people hog the dark meat. The white meat, I don't understand how people like white meat.
It's just
turkey.
stale.
It is so dry,
I like
chewy.
I overall like turkey, but it's the worst thing on the table.
Yeah,
when it comes
I
to-
like turkey and will eat turkey with like a bomb gravy. But as far as meats go, it's not in my top like 7 meats. And it's like usually like my least favorite thing on the plate. I hate to say that, but it's true.
Don't hate to say it, dude.
So
No,
to,
dude,
to
that-
do like
the turkey's
Thanksgiving
dead. It's not gonna
sides,
be offended.
to do Thanksgiving sides with like a ribeye on my plate, sign me the fuck up.
That sounds great.
That sounds amazing.
Mhm.
Nice crust.
There's so much white meat too on a bird.
It stinks.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Give me the dark, dog.
Okay. I love
day.
that take.
All day.
I'll eat. You shave off your couple pieces of turkey, and I'm not a leftover guy.
Yeah.
I don't make a turkey sandwich the next day.
Oh, I do.
I get it. I would have to douse it in like sauce and stuffing and stuff, but like
I chop the turkey up really fine so that it's not just like a hunk of like white meat that you have to like really bite down on.
so you like pull it.
No, I don't pull it. I just kind of chop it up a little smaller. That makes sense. Might make sense.
Okay.
That's fair. So the question is, how do you make it feel more like a holiday? Get a really nice fucking bottle of wine.
Yeah. Get good wine.
Yeah.
And get like a good bottle of bourbon. To me, like the holiday bourbon it belongs in the holidays to me. Like that's
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel like it's truly. This may sound like my family, a bunch of alcoholics. We're not, but like holidays really set in when I'm like sitting on the couch watching football with like a good bourbon in my hand. It's like
Nice pair of, like,
let's fucking go.
Nice pair of winter socks.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
A fire going. Hopefully it's cold enough for a fire or something. And that's it.
Little nap
Sign
in the
me
future.
up.
It's time for her to mash that cornucopia button.
Yeah, get you a copia off.
I think Sally and I this is like the first time that we've ever had to deal with this because most of the time we spend holidays with her family in Austin, or we spend time, or we go up to Michigan to spend time with my family, and we don't have to worry about this ever. We had no Christmas decorations, and I know that she's talking about Thanksgiving. I'm going to relate this to Christmas.
Okay.
This year, because we know we're going to be alone on Christmas, we decided to go all in. And so we have so many boxes upon boxes of Christmas decorations sitting in our apartment right now that we're just waiting to bust out. And I'm really excited to just make it Christmassy and actually get into it a little bit. Previous years, we haven't done anything. We got a wreath and like a garland, and that's it.
You didn't do a tree?
Mm-mm.
Whoa. Okay.
It was just not a priority for us. And this year we finally got a tree. We're getting everything. But I think you just have to get stuff that's fall-y. Go get a bunch of gourds from the store and just put them out on your tables or kitchen island, whatever you do. Dim the lights.
For some reason I think of November 23rd. Every year is the night before Thanksgiving. It's not.
No, it's not.
But like if you tell me 11/23, I'm like that's the day before Thanksgiving.
I kind of agree with you.
And Thanksgiving's on the 26th, which does make sense with my previous statement, but just saying. Make a run to like your local grocery store together as a couple and like just have fun with it. Like
yeah,
do
that's
like
a good call.
Pre-holiday
Make
like
it an event.
Yeah. Exactly. And get something that's a little out of the price range maybe but build it up.
Yeah.
In each other's heads. And I think that's
a good call. Fun. I like that idea.
And maybe throw like a tradition too, like every year on this Thanksgiving Day, we're gonna put up the first wreath of the season or something like that. Just make it special.
So that's something Sally and I decided we're going to do this year. We have a lot of family, not like anything crazy, but we've got a decent amount of family traditions when it comes to Christmas. You know, I know what to expect when I'm spending Christmas with my family, and this is the first year that Sally and I will be married during the holidays. And I told her, I was like, I think we need to come up with some traditions that we constantly do.
Yeah.
We do year after year after year, because I don't want to be one of these families when we eventually have a kid someday where we're just like, oh, we don't really do anything.
Man, I've been really trying to focus on doing exactly what you just described with parks, which makes it difficult because I don't get them every Christmas. We rotate. Like this year, I get them for Thanksgiving, but not for Christmas. But still, I can celebrate like around Christmas and still kind of do our own little thing. But I've been focusing on just having like little traditions, like we put ornaments on the tree together. Like that's an event that we do. I got a little advent calendar thing that we're gonna.
Your boy's definitely getting an advent calendar.
He's gonna switch over there's like a little bell. You just switch it in the pouch, for each day. We're gonna do that together. Shit like that.
You know what you should do too is like get the lights ready. So he's the first one to click the lights on button. Like if you do lights at your crib,
yeah.
Have him be like he's the on switch guy.
Yeah, we're also gonna make cookies together every Christmas Eve to leave out for Santa, of course.
Obviously, reindeer food.
We started that last year. Now that he's 5, like he's very aware of everything, so it's like now's the time to like kick shit into gear for sure.
Yeah,
it's fun, man. Having a kid around the holidays.
We do a stupid thing where we have a nativity scene that
you act out.
My parents bought this nativity scene, and one year my cousin decided to replace part of the nativity scene with a little toy. So he replaced baby Jesus in the manger with Ernie from Sesame Street scrubbing his back in a bathtub. It's like the perfect size for what it is. And so every year at some point, Baby Jesus gets replaced with Ernie in the bathtub, and it's just become like kind of a running bit. But every time I walk by and I see it, I'm like, oh man, like I can't remember a time when we didn't have Ernie in the bathtub chilling there.
That's funny.
And we still have, I mean, don't get me wrong, like we still have a very not very Christian Christmas, but we still understand the meaning of Christmas. But it's still one of those things that like I think of that and it makes me really happy that we do that kind of thing.
Yeah,
I love it. We used to hide baby Jesus. And we'd send the cousins around the house to find baby Jesus.
Okay.
Sometimes he would be in a cake, which would be interesting because he'd be like, "Oh shit, there's baby Jesus in my cake," but by the ocean.
Yeah, Timmy choked this year on baby Jesus. But
yeah, Timmy,
he's fine.
Good for him. He survived.
We do the German pickle on the tree.
Huh?
Where they have it's a German tradition.
I've heard of this.
Where you have a pickle ornament that you put on the tree, and then you move it in the morning, Christmas morning, and whoever finds the pickle on the tree gets a little gift under the tree.
Nice.
We don't do the gift under the tree anymore, but when we were buying ornaments this year, I told Sally, I was like, please get a pickle. Like, I don't care if we do the game. I just want to be able to put the pickle up and smile and be like, you know what? This was one of my favorite ornaments to put up as a kid, and I just wanted that. And sure enough, got that pickle.
Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That's tight. Like my point earlier, we do the Christmas Eve, so the 23rd of December. We do the grocery run, like me and my family. Like we get the Christmas ham, get the stuff, and it's like we get the beer too. I mean, it's just like everything we bring back to my grandparents' house and set up shop. And that's kind of like a fun thing. It's at Wegmans, which is the best grocery store on the planet. You guys don't know much about it, but
nope, don't know anything about it.
It's a scene. It's like everybody's got that vibe.
My
like,
absolute favorite grocery run of the year is the grocery run before Christmas.
That's what it is.
Because you just you get a bunch of wine, nice bottle of bourbon, and you just feel so good.
Do you ever go? Do you ever get a beer while you're grocery shopping? Walk around while you drink?
No, because I don't know where to get it at the Central Market that we go to, other than a really inconvenient location. So I never do it, but I really want to start.
Well, Whole Foods has convenient bar set up. People just go and hang out there. By the way, it's
I've drank there numerous times.
Yeah, but if just get a beer and walk around and like fill up your cart, it's a lot of fun.
Can you still do
That's
it?
fun.
You probably can't do the beer to go now when we have to wear masks in there.
Oh yeah, I haven't thought about that. I haven't done it in a while.
I haven't
so
seen anybody doing it.
It's fun though.
Do you guys subscribe to like Black Friday shopping, like in person?
No, never.
I don't either.
No, it wasn't a thing. It wasn't really a thing for us.
I'll wait for Cyber Monday.
Okay.
I will maybe go online if I have something specific that I need, or if I get an email from a company that I really like to support, and I might go through it. But I try to avoid it.
I'm not going to wait outside of Target and
5 a.m.
storm in when they open the doors and.
I've always been intrigued.
Trample old people.
Yeah, you don't want that.
A really lame tradition that I don't want to say it's lame, but it's not like some kind of crazy tradition. My mom and I always watch Love Actually sometime around Christmas.
I always do too.
And so
usually by myself.
But like last year when I was home, my mom was like, "We haven't watched Love Actually yet. Do you want to watch it?" And it's like, yes, I do.
That's a great holiday movie.
It is.
Really
it's just feel good. It's like a great British romantic comedy.
Yeah.
And it's an easy tradition, but I always know that we're going to do it, and so. I would kind of like to have a movie that Sally and I just sit down and watch every Christmas and just enjoy it and know that that's something we're going to enjoy.
Yeah. Shouts to Grandma Jean. She loves Hallmark movies. And I'm not going to, like, I get the Hallmark movie thing. I get it. But, like, once a year, me and Grandma Jean, I'll have a stiff bourbon in hand, and I will fall asleep in front of the fireplace on the floor with Hallmark movies on, like, that you're kind of paying attention to, and that's like a tradition.
God, this is getting me excited for the holidays.
I know. I'm real happy about the holidays coming up now.
Hell yeah!
It's gonna be a weird one though.
It is, and call your parents. My mom is really bummed out about the holidays this year when it comes to not having the kids around and stuff. And so like I hope that we can FaceTime for a very extended period of time over Christmas, or whether it's Christmas Eve or Christmas Day, Thanksgiving.
There you go.
But I think we gave them enough to work with. I think if anything, we got more excited for anything.
I'll go ahead and say it. Good episode.
Great episode.
Did you guys have fun?
You want my BQ?
Dude, don't call it that.
We're not doing BQ.
All right, bonus question.
Yeah, what's up, dude?
All right. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but Cabot, friend of the program, Cabot Links, we'll be there. They just introduced their new resort, which hasn't been built yet, but it'll be built in 2023. Cabot Revelstoke, Cabot Pacific, which is a golf course in the Vancouver Banff area resort town. My question to y'all is basically this resort is combining my favorite things on the planet, which is skiing, golf, and like fun mountain lodging in one spot.
That sounds pretty dope.
It's incredible.
Yeah, don't sound bad.
And like on a river that is basically a lake. Anyway, my question to you two is: if you were to have like Cabot Dillon or Cabot Will, where is your self-designed resort, and what are the amenities that are necessary?
See, the problem with that situation is you got to go in one season or the other because skiing and golf don't overlap, so you can't knock them both out in one trip, right?
Unless you live in Cali, bruh.
Which you get to do lots of driving though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
I'm just saying about the place you just described.
Yeah, you can't do both, but you can.
But okay. Okay.
Chateau Dillon, perhaps, is where is it and what is at it, if you could design it.
Oh gosh, there's definitely some skiing.
Okay.
I absolutely love not just skiing, but everything about skiing and what you do on the mountain, in the bar, and everything about skiing. I absolutely love. So that's going to be a huge element of what I'm doing. My favorite place to go. The mountain.
I love it.
I don't know. I do love golf, but you can't do them both on the same trip.
You can't, dude. You have to like. I would have thought you set up like a coastal Charleston like golf resort.
Now that would be incredible, but I gotta have snow on a mountain.
Okay.
I have to. That's a big part of my dream vacation.
Okay. So you would start with
It's
the snow.
tough, man. Maybe somewhere like I don't know.
I have
know.
no
You
good
go
answer
Colorado.
for this.
I
Like,
mean,
my answer is pretty much just what they're doing. Like,
that's my answer.
Can we
Like,
go
literally my
overseas?
answer.
Can we go to like
Yo, you do whatever you
Swiss
want.
Alps and shit?
Yeah.
Might do something like
You
that.
set up shop wherever.
where we went to in Scotland, they had, they had great places for hikes and stuff through like the Highlands, and they also had like small ski areas there too.
Yeah.
And you could, I don't think they did. I don't know if they did man-made snow or not, but I did kind of like just having like all the lodgy feel and being able to drive and just see these like random little tiny ski areas. It was kind of cool, but I don't think there's anything there that like sets it apart from what like Cabot's doing. I think golf and skiing is just like the perfect 1-2 punch.
Yeah.
I know.
Also, like Lake Como. This question is too hard.
Okay. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
My answer is literally Cabot Revelstoke. Like it's just like okay.
Yeah,
tight golf
it
course.
sounds perfect. I just wish you could do both in one trip.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're either picking a golf trip or a ski trip.
Or
Which is nothing
you
wrong
could
with
do-
those,
you could do-
obviously.
You could do beach if you want and really set it up like you. A lot of options.
I do love the beach, but it's like third or fourth on my list of like vacation destinations.
Okay.
I don't
Good
like
deal.
sand.
Me neither. Well, that was fun.
Good question. Just an impossible one for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, there's too much. It's too
There's
hard.
Too many dope places around. Anyway, I had fun. You guys?
I had fun as well.
Good.
Absolutely.
Well, thank y'all for helping out today. I appreciate it in Sally's absence.
Always.
Call to the pulpit. I got you.
The hotline number, once more, 888-362-6245, or write into the link in the Twitter bio @MailinPodcast. We'll see you not next week, but the week after. Goodbye.